Hello everyone, and welcome to another mathematics tutorial video. And in this video, we're going to begin discussing geometry. And I want to sort of lay the framework here that we're building geometry in a way that lends itself most conveniently to working with geography and spatial data. So kind of coming from that perspective, I think it's important to start our discussion of geometry with the Cartesian coordinate plane. And what I want to do is I want to actually break this Cartesian coordinate plane up into something that we've seen in grade school, elementary school, middle school, probably even high school. And that's the idea of the number line. And I want to show how something as simple as the number line can be extended to build up the framework for the Cartesian coordinate system. So what I want to do really quickly is I want to grab this. And we're going to start with ourselves off with a nice straight line. Right, so we got ourselves a nice straight line here. And we can think about if we just sort of take roughly the center of the line here, and we call this 0, right? We're not doing anything too fancy here. We're just working with our conception of the number line. And you can think of this as going all the way out here to infinity, and all the way in this direction to negative infinity, right? And we have numbers along the number line, right? We have, for example, 1, we could have 2, we could have 3. We definitely have the same in the negative, so -1, -2, -3. And we're going to eventually transition to using pre-generated graphs so that the numbers are a little bit more even. But again, just sort of conceptually, right, we have a number line that goes from negative infinity to infinity. And we can put numbers on this number line, right? This is something that hopefully you're familiar with. But if we had the number, say, 5, well, where would we put that on this number line, right? So we'd start at 0. We would look and say if it's positive or negative. It's positive. So we're going to go to the right of the number line. And we would simply count off. 1, 2, 3, 4 would be here. And we would go all the way over here and we would go to 5. Right, so this is where 5 would go on the number line. So this works really well if we have one number, right? We have one number, we know where it goes. We could do decimals, we could do fractions, we could do negative numbers, right? But that's only one number. And we know from living, right, that sometimes we want more than one number. And how would we go about putting two numbers on the number line, or on a number line at the same time? And the answer is, well, you can't really do that. Right? The system isn't really built to deal with more than one number at a time. You know, sure, we could do 5 and then we could do -3, but we're not doing them at the same time. Right? And so to deal with multiple numbers at the same time, the approach that most people take, and the one I think is most valid, is to just add a second number line. Right? So we'll add a second number line, again, a nice straight line. Give ourselves a nice straight line again. And you'll notice that in this case, right, 0 here is the same. Right? Our 0 here is the same. So this number line, this vertical number line here, right, this intersects this horizontal number line here at 0 in both number lines. So this is 0, 0. Let me actually make a note of that. Right, this is 0 on one number line and 0 on the other. And we'll come back to this notation here in a little bit. But for now, right, we've intersected them at 0, 0. And we can think this is the exact same thing, right? This goes to infinity, going up. So positive numbers go up along this number line. And negative numbers, right? Negative numbers go down. Right? They go down along this number line. Just to sort of reiterate that, right? If we were to go up, we would go 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And if we were going down, we would go -1, -2, -3, right? -1, -2, -3. So we can use this framework of two number lines intersecting at 0 to start to add data, right? We'll add points. But what I want to do really quickly before we start actually adding data to this is I just want to throw out a couple of terms that you're most likely to come across. So the first term are axes, right? So this horizontal number line here, right, the one that goes from left to right, we typically refer to this as the x-axis, right? The x-axis goes from left to right. The number line that goes from top to bottom, right, this is typically called the y-axis, right? The y-axis. And I made a big deal about this point right here where they cross, right? This point right here where they cross. I made a big deal of that, and I kept saying where both of them are equal to 0. I even called it out here 0, 0, right? This right here where both of them intersect at 0, 0, this is called the origin, right? This is called the origin, O-R-I-G-E-N, right? The origin. And we're going to be talking a lot about the origin, and when we talk about different things, right? And when we start talking about, distances and things, this origin plays a key role. So hopefully this made sense. Again, hopefully this was review, but just in case it wasn't, I encourage you to pause the video anywhere you seem confused, go back and rewatch it, and as always, please reach out. Thank you.